Hi, Andrew from SACS. I have some feedback for you. Now, if you're like most people, when you heard those words, you will have had a little surge of anger or fear or depression, which is the fight, flight, or freeze response, because that's how your brain responds to these things. This is a picture of the human brain, and you'll see there's part of the brain that we call the new brain, and that's the outer part of the brain. And then the inner part of the brain is the old brain, and the inner part of the brain includes a thing called the orbitofrontal cortex, which scans the world for risks. And then, when it perceives those risks, it sends messages to the amygdala and the hypothalamus, and the amygdala and the hypothalamus together work to create the fight, flight, and freeze response. So feedback tends to create a sense of helplessness. When you comment on what somebody's done in the past, what can they do about that? It is a negative experience. Also, we know that if you're trying to teach people new things, there have been studies where people have been asked to, let's say, learn a new language, and what we discover is that if you use feedback a lot, you tend not to get the speed of learning as if you use an alternative. And the simple reasons for this is that the old brain tends to be defensive, tends to be quick at simple tasks. It does tend to be resistant to change. It can be focused on the past, and therefore the emotions of anger, fear, and depression trigger the fight, flight, and freeze response. The alternative is the new brain, which is creative. It's also slow and expensive to run, and it tends to generate change through learning. It can foresee the future, and it is able to collaborate, undertake curiosity, and optimism. So if people need to change what they are going to do, a great way of doing it is to engage the new brain, because the new brain is much more creative and much less defensive. So how do you do that? Well, like most things in human life, it's about what you focus on. And so an alternative to feedback is a technique called feed forward. Feed forward is a technique where you focus on the issue, but then you focus on clarification of expectations. So you are not criticizing, you're not focusing on what's gone wrong. You're focusing on what you're asking the person to do differently in the future. So that could be quite an assertive conversation, really. It could be where you've asked a person to do things differently several times and they're not responding to that. Then the feed-forward conversation might be, I'm asking you to do this. I've had this conversation with you multiple times, and if you don't do it, that will lead to formal warnings and ultimately dismissal. The point is that focusing on the future tends to sponsor a sense of optimism, and it tends to sponsor a sense of confidence. And a really critical part of this is clarification of your expectations, making those expectations so clear that they can't be misunderstood. So, in short, don't tell people what they've done wrong. Tell them what you need them to do in future. Make that really clear. If it becomes a serious issue, document it. And this will be very defensible in the eyes of any judiciary that are looking at industrial relations issues, because all policies will tend to deal with the question of, have you made it clear to this person what they need to do to keep their job? Now, of course, if you're using feed forward, most of the time it doesn't get anywhere near formal warnings or dismissals. And this is a good way of causing people to be more confident to have such conversations. When people learn feed forward as a leadership technique, we find that they're more ready to have the difficult conversation. If this content is of use to you, then please don't hesitate to like and subscribe.